have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
You know it's Monday because it is time to kick some ass. And again, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, what a weekend. It was a fun weekend. I want to thank everyone that was able to come out to the Online Big Blue Hospitality Suite at the Trenton Thunder game. You had OGR Sports. You had James Williams. You had Mr. Williams, a beautiful girlfriend. We had a lot of other people out there as well. And I just wanted to thank everyone for taking the time and some of those people who traveled from afar. It was a good day. We gave away the tickets on Sunday, the Coaches Club's tickets. One person has yet to confirm their availability, so we may be having an emergency stream tonight to give away another Coaches Club tickets. You're going to get to hang out with me, OGR Sports, James Williams, Dominic Palmer, flying all the way from across the pond, hang out on the Coaches Club, go out on the field. All you have to do is provide your own transportation and parking, and no, the tickets are not for resale. Oh, there's so many things I want to talk about. I don't know where to start. Do we want to start with the smooth sounds of Kenny G? Do we want to start with Kadarius Toney? Do we want to start from what happened at camp yesterday on the last day of open practice as more injuries have crept up on this team, as more poor and sloppy play has been seen? Let's start with Daniel Jones. Unofficially 6 for 23, no touchdowns, 2 horrible interceptions. I mean, at this point in time, it is what it is. We're not going to make a drastic change unless they start giving Tyrod Taylor some more first-team reps, maybe getting Tyrod out with the first team on Sunday against the Bengals. But he's got to turn it around. He's got to figure it out quickly because right now, to be honest, we are going to start going into what they refer to as a normal football schedule. Because, you are going to start putting in you're going to start working towards games now because we have preseason games. So this is going to be more, they're going to start getting into their pre-week regiment. So I'm not saying training camp is over because it's not over till the last preseason game, but they're going to get into more of a regimen now. They're going to get into more of their meetings in regards to installing game plans, to working on certain things. So, I mean, he's got to figure it out and he's got to turn it around quick. He needs to have you always hate to say that there's a must-win game, that there's a must-win preseason game, because there's not a must-win preseason game. But Daniel Jones needs to have a better showing on Sunday. He really does, because you can't go into the season with a lack of confidence in your quarterback. And I'm not just talking about from the fan base. I'm talking from an organizational perspective. So we have to kind of just keep an eye on that. Also, we had a plethora of injuries on Sunday. John Feliciano, he left practice again. They're not saying what the injury is, but he's missed multitudes of practices with severe dehydration issues. Smith and Ward left practice also. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Smith appears to have a foot or an ankle injury. So I mean that's going to be something that you don't want to keep seeing happening. We also see that Kadarius Toney, probably Dable says, probably not practicing this week. We're going to talk about Kadarius Toney in a minute, though. Also, Shane Lemieux confirmed he would not be practicing. They confirmed he would not be practicing this week after suffering a toe injury. Hopefully, it's not a turf toe, but he was spotted on the sideline last week wearing a walking boot. He's kind of a wait and see thing. Andre Miller. He was on the practice with the cast on his forearm. Of course, he suffered that fracture a week ago. We got the big tackle. Joshua. He's working through some physical things, says Dable. So I mean, you're piling up. We also had some other people that were not spotted at practice. You had Ricky Seals-Jones, Shane Lemieux, of course, Douglas. You also had Blake Martinez, Cam Brown. And, these were guys that weren't seen on the practice field on Sunday. So the injury situation is not getting dire because, it's just one of those things. But it's starting to get a little disconcerting. Darnay Holmes, though, if you want to have good news, will stand out again. He's continuing his hot streak. He evidently nabbed a wonderful one-handed interception. And Adoree Jackson also got into the action. He deflected a Daniel Jones pass, so that was good as well. Of course, if you want to look, the downside is, the interceptions came with Daniel Jones. And it was with the starting offense. These interceptions, these issues, and sloppy performance were from the starting offense. And evidently it got really bad at the end of practice. So, I mean, it depends on, I'm just sitting here just trying to, you got to look at the positive. You know what? Maybe we're getting all the bad play out during training camp. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe that's what our focus is. We're getting the bad play out now. Kadarius Toney, though, it's getting more and more concerning going into year 2 that this kid has multitudes of health issues or injury issues. I mean, will he be relied upon to even make 10 games, 9 games? Because he doesn't have a great track record right now. He can't even get on the practice field. He hasn't gotten into really any game situations. So, what are we going to do? I've said in the past that I thought drafting Wan'Dale Robinson was redundant because you already had Kadarius Toney. You already had a very similar player who was actually a little taller. But I laugh, though, because of the fact that you think about this now. Maybe the organization would, I have to give Dable credit and Shane credit again. Maybe the organization understood the health concerns of Kadarius Toney. Maybe they felt that way. Maybe they thought that way. And I'm curious about that because of the fact that, I mean, if that's the case, maybe the Wan'Dale Robinson move was a good move. You needed more of a slot guy. You need a gadget guy. You need a game breaker. I don't think Wan'Dale has game breaking speed, but you know what? They said the same thing about Jerry Rice. When Jerry Rice came out of college, they basically said he was too slow, and it turned out he had game speed. But we have to start being concerned a little bit about Kadarius Toney, his health, and his availability. And that kind of leads us into, I got people texting me left and right today. That kind of leads us into our old friend,
bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G. 72 million. Not worth it, as you can plainly see.
I thought it was funny that Brian Dable felt that he needed to point out that pass that Kenny didn't get was a low throw by Daniel Jones. I thought it was interesting that he had to pass, that he had to bring out that information. I really did think that was interesting. Because not that he was 100% rolling his quarterback under the bus, but it's almost like he's protecting his $72 million wide receiver. In some ways, kind of not leaving the quarterback out on an island, but you know what? Even if it was a low throw from Daniel Jones, that is a throw or a catch a professional, number one, $72 million wide receiver makes. Plain and simple. No doubt about it. You make that if you're getting paid $72 million. And I've said this when they drafted him. I said this when they went out and got Kenny G. I didn't like the move. I hated the move. Told you, people in Detroit told me that they thought he could come back from the hip pointer and could have played, but he was trying to get his contract. That no one else, the Giants gave him twice the amount of money. What's his name? The kid got over in Carolina. So it was a Gettleman type move. It was a move to help move this franchise forward. But we're gonna do a better video on that, I think, tomorrow. But we need to start talking about Kenny G and Daniel Jones and a few other things. Azeez Ojulari made his return. So he's back out of the red jersey. He's back out there practicing. So we got to see what he can do, what he can become. I want to team him up with Kayvon Thibodeau, Quincy Roche, Leonard Williams, and kind of see where we go from there. It's going to be fun. Sunday is going to be fun. Sunday's going to be an interesting game. If you're at the game on Sunday, we're probably going to be hanging out in what is now the gold lot, which used to be the red lot right next to the Verizon entrance. So make sure you stop on by, say hello. It's going to be me, OGR Sports, James Williams, Dominic Parmer from across the pond, 2 subscribers that won their tickets, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a good time. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue. We'll bring you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, maybe subscribe. If you're doing that by the means, that'd be awesome.